I'm Nicola in the Sous Chef kitchen today with Felicity Cloake, who's making her recipe for the perfect pumpkin pie. It really comes on the back of her amazing book, which is Peach Street's Lobster Lane, where she travels around America in search of just the most extraordinarily passionate people about food. Over to Felicity.
Thank you.
To get us started.
I'm going to roll my sleeves up because I feel like we're going to start with the pastry. It's interesting, pumpkin pie is something that I think particularly a lot of people outside the US think that they don't like because we don't think of pumpkin as a sweet ingredient. But actually, when you try it, I think most people are converted. I think that actually, you know, when you tried a bit earlier,
I did.
You sounded a little bit surprised that it was delicious.
But yeah. it really is quite amazing. And it is something that we don't hear about here at all.
No.
We do use pumpkins, and every so often at Halloween people kind of vaguely think, or maybe you can make pumpkin soup, but not so much the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think that we do just think of those very bulbous jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, which they look great, they're bred to look great, they're actually not that good to cook with. If anyone's very diligently used the waste of their carving pumpkin, you'll know that they're very watery. For this, I would say you could use like a fudgier, drier squash, like a kabocha squash, or the crown prince or whatever. You can also use a butternut squash, which are very widely available. Or, as we're going to do today, you can use tinned pumpkin puree, which is, I think, near ubiquitous in the States and is not at all, you know, it's processed in the sense of the way you would process a pumpkin at home. But otherwise, there's nothing, you know, otherwise in it. But we're going to start with the pastry. It's quite a rich pastry because pumpkin isn't a particularly rich, you know, we're not doing, say, a choux fly pie or a cream pie or anything like that, so you can get away with a bit of a richer pastry. So this is just plain flour with a pinch of salt. I'm going to use butter, and actually I'm going to grate my butter.
Hearing you say a rich pastry, so I'm looking at the ingredients, and in my head I always think of as pastry as half fat to flour.
Yeah.
But actually here we've got 170 grams of flour, a bit more than half of butter, and also the egg yolk. What does the egg yolk do?
So the egg yolk is just an emulsifier to bring it together. It also, if I'm totally honest, it gives it a really nice colour. You've got your grated butter, you've got your flour, and I'm just going to rub the two together. This is, you know, nothing magical about this, just very standard.
That's the cool thing about your grating.
Yeah.
Suddenly, actually, it's a lot more manageable to start doing that rubbing.
I just find it much faster and less annoying not to be fiddling around with little cubes. If anyone else is an impatient person, know that you can still make decent pastry.
How many people are celebrating Thanksgiving this evening?
I mean, I've been to a Thanksgiving dinner in the UK. I think it's a lovely thing because it is just a festival about giving thanks. You don't give presents at Thanksgiving, you don't send cards, you just get together with family or friends and just give thanks. And I think that's such a lovely thing.
Anyone who's read the book or was about to read the book will discover that pie is a very large theme.
Yes.
And the Americans, everything is called pie.
So the book is all about different American specialities and how American food is about more than just fast food. So there's lots of things that are American food. It's got an amazing food culture beyond, I think, the things that we often see. I'm not going to put all of this in to start with. I'm just going to see how much to bring it together because it always slightly varies with size of eggs and etc. Pie is everywhere, but they tend to be different types of pie. And so the thing that linked all of my travels together was whenever I saw a pie on a menu or in a shop, I ate it, and it was always a sweet pie. So, because America had this amazing tradition of sweet pies, I actually think that's enough today. You don't.
So it was only about half of it.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was really not very much.
You probably get away with maybe putting a tablespoon of water in there. So yeah, you want it to come together, but not be either too sort of dry and crumbly or too sticky, basically. So in the South, for example, on Thanksgiving, they'll often be eating sweet potato pie rather than pumpkin pie because that's a local crop. And that also tends to be more popular with the African American community because historically they were centred in the South. But then also you might get pecan pies, so delicious. One of my favourite pies, I have to say. I ate so many different types of pie because you can have fruit, you can have...
And the fruit pies have a lid, or sometimes
usually they have a lid or a lattice, or they
yeah.
might have a streusel topping, which is kind of a Germanic, almost like crumbly thing. Or they might have the cream pies, often have a whipped cream topping. So I'm going to roll this out. Okay. I'm going to refrigerate it before I put it in the oven. I think at this time of year, people's kitchens don't tend to be incredibly warm.
Yeah.
And so I think you can get away with it, and it's quite a forgiving pastry because it does have quite a lot of butter in it.
Do we butter the tin beforehand? And having had Jeremy Lee in the kitchen a few weeks ago, who was quite adamant that the tin didn't need buttering, we've left it.
I mean, I am not one to argue with Jeremy. He is king of the pie. Rolling it out is much easier if you just don't give it a sort of quarter turn. If you want it to be round, just give it a very slight turn between each roll. try and give it a completely even number of rolls. So I'm just going up and down. I know lots of pastry chefs will just go one way. And also just make sure your pressure is even as you're doing it, because it's really easy to kind of go in very hard and then slightly ease off as you get to the end.
It's lovely watching how gently you're doing this.
American pies, they're quite rustic.
Yeah.
The results that come out, they're not meant to be sat on a glass pastry stand and served in sweet little slices. They stay in the dish and you serve them from the dish. You know, it helps if it looks good, but it needs to taste good.
And you're just releasing it rather than adding more flour as well.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't want too much flour on it. Not because with this it won't absorb that much, but I just think it looks a bit ugly when it comes out if there's too much flour on it. So I think this is a 20 centimetre tart tin, and you need it to be relatively deep just because there's quite a lot of filling.
There you go, lift it over.
Just maybe a little bit warm. But that's fine, we can just patch it. Please be forgiving, because this is not what happened when I made one on Monday.
So just if we chilled it or it was a little bit colder, it would hold together a bit better,
exactly,
do you think?
Yeah. Anyway, so just patching this together. And we are going to chill it, to be clear. But we're just going to neaten those edges up. So look, actually, what could have looked like a disaster, actually, it's going to look great when it comes out of the oven. Do not be dispirited. Okay, so this can now go in the fridge, I would say, for about 30 minutes. Before baking.
Would you poke it before or afterwards? That
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
Doesn't matter, yeah.
We pop it away.
So I always keep the extra pastry when you're baking it. If there's any holes that appear, keep this to patch it up. Let's move on to the filling. Okay, so this is your moment.
Okay, I'm now allowed to cook. Now
You're allowed.
So Felicity said earlier, she said, you can do the filling because that's quite simple.
We're going to start with this tinned pumpkin puree. So you need 250 grams of that. Okay, so pinch of salt, and then we are going to get in. Actually, we're going to go for the maple syrup first. If that's...
I was going to start preparing my tin.
Sorry.
But 1 minute. Let me just open the tin.
You
go
for that. So that's evaporated milk, which I love evaporated milk. It reminds me of school.
Okay.
So we're going to have 145
pumpkin puree
millilitres of maple syrup. Okay, so apparently that's the entire rest of that bottle. So that looks like a lot, but actually it's going to be quite a lot of custard. I know that in New England they often also use molasses, and it gives it quite a dark, rich flavour. So whisk that together. Now you can put the evaporated milk in. So that is 150 millilitres. And this is, it's such a quick filling to do. It's kind of a custard base because we are going to finish with eggs, but it's just literally stirring stuff together. So you could make the pumpkin pie literally when you got home this evening and have it for pudding.
It's smelling really lovely,
yeah.
I have to say.
It is surprising,
it's just that kind of, well, I guess you get the maple syrup smell and also a bit of the pumpkin. It's just 3 simple ingredients, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah, well, so then we're going to put some spices in. Now, I'm going to warn you, I am quite heavy-handed with the spices because I like spice. We want in here a teaspoon of cinnamon. So cinnamon to me is the taste of America. It's the smell of America.
Yeah.
And then I get half a teaspoon of ground ginger because I think that works really well with pumpkin in particular. A little bit of heat. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. And if you can't find ground cloves, then I use about 5 just in a pestle and mortar. If you don't like cloves, just leave them out. Whisk those in. And at this point, you can just give it a little taste and think, oh, actually, I'd like it a bit sweeter because it won't change now. We're putting the eggs in, so it'll slightly dilute it. And so add a little bit more syrup, or you could add some sugar as well. Or you might say, I want more spice, although you probably won't. And then last off, crack the eggs in there, whisk those in. Okay, so that all comes together, and then I think that is everything. So just pour that in.
It does fit. This is a slightly larger pastry tin, but a lot shallower.
Yeah.
So you were missing some of the pit filling.
This
isn't actually one we made earlier. This is one we bought earlier. But
so this just goes into the oven for about 40 minutes. But again, I always say this with ovens. I've said 40 minutes, but put a timer on for maybe 30, 35 and just go and have a look at it and check it, because ovens always run differently. You'll know it's done when it's kind of set. It's set entirely, but there's a very slight wobble. That's completely set.
It's very much set and looks absolutely perfect.
Should we cut a slice?
Yeah,
I think you should do
simple.
that. Yes. I've been eating it with creme fraiche just because I had a pot of creme fraiche open in the fridge and it worked really well. That richness and sourness was delicious. And you could just put a big old pecan on top of that and it would look great.
Thank you so much to Felicity for making this incredible pumpkin pie. If you'd like to share photos of what you've been cooking, hop over to Sous Chef UK or Felicity Cloake on Instagram and share with us there. Have Have a wonderful week of cooking.